People around here trust the shepherds. Jamie, Adam, and the other Jamie. They always have. The sheep trust them too. Gather round. I'll throw another log on the fire. Turn it up just a touch, cause another episode of the BHHcast is starting now.
Sheep, gather round. It is a brand new episode of the BHHcast. Jamie Bendel, Jamie Hernan, Adam All right, we have
someday we're gonna end just right there and just go right to the guest, like because we've taken so long.
Oh, that'll be it. Yeah, that'll be a while.
And you'll know, sheep, what happened. We just ran it too long with the Hague.
Couple of firsts coming up in this episode.
Yep.
One, I'm surprised that we booked 3 guests on a show.
We totally
Only
did.
because they all host a podcast together. Stoner Chick podcast hosts Kayla, Phoebe, Stephanie join us. Grace absent.
Yes.
Mostly because we didn't want to be outnumbered.
No.
We've yet to be outnumbered on an episode.
It was all we could do.
This was person to person.
It was a fun conversation with them. They are, it's interesting how the Pacific Northwest perceives this issue and the laws. We talk a little bit about the laws going into it and some advocacy on that. But honestly, it's just a nice conversation with another group of podcast hosts. Really nice people.
This is an episode synopsis I want to run by you.
Okay.
The guests focus a lot of their podcast content on advocacy issues related to stoners. But this may be the first episode that our sheep listen to and think, oh, those guys were high. Because we were all over the lot. Lack of focus, some crazy ideas.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the first time the sheep have seen that from us, but
Well,
I agree that there could be concern given the audience.
perhaps felt more like it this time than others.
Maybe it did.
All right, anyway, you got to check it out. It's a great episode. Stoner Chicks are our guests. Don't wander too far. We're going to be right back with Kayla, Phoebe, and Stephanie, hosts of Stoner Chicks podcast.
Taka, don't you go far, sheep. Here's me a good one.
Guys, I have great news.
I need some good news.
Everybody is familiar when it rolls around to be April 20th.
Yep.
It's a big day for those who are advocates for
Paying your
Earth,
taxes?
the illicit green,
Oh, you're talking about the devil cabbage?
sticky icky,
Oh, here we go.
The stevia?
the stevia,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
The Mary Jane,
The Laffy Tobacco.
the Mary Joanna.
The kind green.
You know which of what I speak.
I know what you speak.
All right. But
Cocaine?
not every.
Sorry, go.
Kill me. I'm going to kill him.
The good news is that you may not be ready to go so far publicly about your support for such behavior. There's a new day that you can celebrate that indicates your partial interest in this subject matter, and it's 210.
Are there parades?
Only partial parades.
210?
210.
So February 10th.
February 10th
Yeah.
is the starter day for people who are not ready to go full 420.
210.
210.
Intro.
Kind of in.
Dipping
Might
my
not-
toe.
I might not.
Maybe a gummy here and there, but I'm not,
I'm not going to be maybe as public
Yeah.
with you,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Still call it reefer.
I might have a bear that looks like it's ready to go out, but not necessarily dance.
Right. I don't know if that dancing bear wants to dance.
No, it's just like a bear that's maybe ready for date night.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Maybe an early date night.
You know what's up.
Maybe just have apps.
Maybe apps. Maybe
No
we
entree.
go. Maybe we go ganja. Get a little hash. Some chronic up
I
in
think
this
you're
place.
missing the point of the 210.
Oh,
I feel like you missed a little bit of the part of the 210.
I feel like you should get off your phone.
I was looking for names for pods.
Well, we had a sufficient number.
Yeah, I don't know that we did.
We didn't need all of them because it's 210. It's not 420.
Oh, solid. I forgot who we were dealing with. 210.
210. It's just the 210 people.
It's the light beer of weed.
It's basically the Michelob Ultra of illicit drug consumption.
Yeah, we try and give you all the tastes, not as many carbs. Okay. The 210.
210.
Also my birthday, February 10th.
It's an important fact for the purposes of this promo. What's the last 4 digits of your social security number?
And out of curiosity, what was your elementary school, high school mascot?
Sheep, you better head on over there on 210, because you and I both know that the 420, out your league. So let's just stay home with the 210s.
Offer not available on 840.
You talking about the wacky tobacco?
I'm talking about a little bit of that chit-chat.
The Blaze Burrito?
You talking about the reefer?
I mean, my uncle's phone case.
The Acapulco Gold?
You talking about the devil's lettuce?
The Maui Wowie?
Not your turn. Not your turn.
You mean that Heideke?
You talking about Lucifer's quinoa? You talking about the jazz cabbage?
It's not your turn.
You talking about that Puff Puff Paseo?
You talking about that funky fern?
You're not talking about Steve down the street.
The Cheech and Chong drumsticks?
You talking about that KFC?
You're not talking about the fob to the Lexus.
You talking about that boozabop bok choy?
The Boozabop Bok Choy.
Did you pull up a menu to get dinner takeout later?
Yeah, I'm gonna do the fried sampler.
You talking about Tarzan's tobacco?
The Cocoa Puff? Are you talking about the herb tarlic?
No, I'm talking about that clean your quiche.
You talking about doobage?
The doobage. There's a retro term. The doobage.
The doobage.
Hey, my man. Want to smoke a little bit of that doobage? All right, Chief, welcome back. This is the BHHcast. Jamie Bendel, Jamie Hernan, Adam. We are joined by our guests, and it's a little bit of an interesting thing for us because this is the first time that we are actually matched host for host, guest to guest.
That's right.
Three hosts, 3 guests.
Yeah.
This
We've
is a new
never
thing.
had, we've usually have the advantage where it's 1 or 2 that we're interviewing, and we bring the heat with all 3 of us, and we're matched up even tonight. So it's
The symmetry is
it's
amazing.
head to head.
And I think it's only by pure happenstance. We are joined by the hosts of the Stoner Chicks podcast, which is Phoebe Richardson, Kayla Teal, Stephanie Thompson, and unfortunately unable to join us this evening, Ms. Grace Penzel.
Well, I'm glad kind of Grace wasn't able to join us just because I was worried about you outnumbering us. So right now we're, again, one-on-one. It's going to be great. So welcome to the show, girls.
Yeah, thank you.
Glad to have
Hello.
I thought we were going to be visited by Stephanie's cat, but actually, I think is that your
Kayla's
cat
cute.
with
Yeah.
Kayla? Did she steal your cat?
Oh, this is Pizza Boy here behind me. I'm in my closet, and I thought he would be less disruptive if I just let him in than if he was scratching at the door.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That makes sense. I mean, now he's in. He got what he wants. He's my mom, and everything's good.
My neighbors across the street found a cat recently.
Okay. Stray.
Well, let me tell the story.
Okay.
Found a cat in their garage. And they left the door open for several days, and the cat stayed in the garage for several days. So they decided, we'll take in this cat.
The cat has chosen them.
Cat has chosen them.
Right.
And I asked my neighbor, how's it going with the cat? Because she's allergic to cats. But her husband and 2 kindergarten-age children prevailed that we should
Oh.
keep the cat.
Wow.
Did they let the
So she
cat
took one for the
inside,
team?
and she's now living in the garage?
No, cat's in the house. Apparently
Okay.
they're toughing it out.
Okay.
So I said, how's it going with the cat? And they said, cat's gone. And I said, oh my goodness, what happened to the cat? And it turns out it's a neighbor cat.
It's the neighbor's cat.
Just a neighbor cat.
I thought you were going to say the cat stole all of the jewelry.
So
No, and I've lost a cat. The cat is returned. It's the cat that you might hear. But he was gone for 2 weeks, and he was in a neighbor's garage.
I remember.
So is that
hold on a
just
second. Do you live near Jamie? This is now
It was in Atlanta.
It's the same story.
Whoa.
an Atlanta cat?
It was not an Atlanta cat. He's purely a P&W cat.
Oh,
But
okay.
he's wanted to travel, but I don't let him.
Nope.
Overprotective mom.
What I learned in this story that was told to me is that it was a 22-year-old cat. 22-year-old neighbor cat.
That's old.
wow.
Seen a lot of garages.
Maybe not.
My cat's
Maybe.
20. He's seen a lot of garages.
Ooh.
I think it's like they get that age and they just go, did I have it good? And then he was like, he wandered into a garage and was like, you know what? I'll see how it is here. And he was like, no, I think I had it okay, and came back to me eventually.
There is a point at which we all will probably wander into a garage That's not our garage.
I think there was a movie about when cats do that. It's like the 20-year itch or something like that, where they just go off and find another garage and just make sure that their garage is the right one.
I want to tell you that that may be the best joke you've made on this show.
Oh, thank you, Jerry.
I'm gonna just make sure.
And
that
you guys were
that.
here for it, so thank you for all laughing too. Okay, what were you saying?
Oh, my first roommate got a kitten right before I moved in, and then the kitten ran away or got lost right before I moved in also, and I was very sad. And then like a year later, one day we were just in the apartment with the door open, and the full-grown cat ran to where the food dish embarrassingly still was. This was like a hoarder type apartment kind of, and started eating the food, and it was that cat. It, clearly well fed, had clearly just gone and found another family
apartment.
and hung out for like half a day.
You sure it wasn't scoping you out the whole year?
I mean, clearly it had found a better place, and that day, for whatever reason,
Hey, if you guys if that door's open and that food's not going to get picked up, I'm just going to hit this. Are you guys okay with that? Now I'm going back to my people because their place is great, but you guys are kind of hoarders, right? If I don't say so.
Totally. My roommate, though, was very heartbroken that the cat had
chosen elsewhere. That'll do it. It's when the cats choose the other owner over you. It really breaks your heart.
I know we've gotten a little sidetracked on cats, but I'm convinced that the animal hospital down the road for me gives away free cats just to sell vet services.
Oh.
It is a total gimmick. We're going to sell you a cat, give you a cat, and then you'll be here and we're going to be ringing up the bill.
Steph used to work at a vet's office. Is that true?
Not at our vet clinic, but now that I'm thinking back, that's probably a pretty good racket because you could also be like, here's a free cat. Not only that, your first visit's going to be 20% off, 50% off, or whatever. Right. Then you get them linked into, okay, now they're locked into the doctor's visits. If they want to get blood work done or anything, they have to get a whole nother vet visit done.
That's right.
So now you're locked in.
Right.
You're locked into the vet plan.
I think this is how people become addicted to heroin.
We should market our podcast. We should figure out what pet do we need to give away to like, should we have sheep that people can come get? And we will just...
I'm listening to Phoebe's story and I was thinking, and I love my kids, but when they're like babies, it's so difficult. It would be kind of nice if like as a newborn, if they just like, they went to another family for a year and then they just showed up. Yeah.
Yeah. And they come back around
right. They're like
mid-high school.
Come back at
they're
16
fully self-sufficient.
in a Corvette, like, hey, Dad, what's up?
Okay. So I will
the
tell
door's
you.
open and is the fridge, you guys still have stuff in the fridge?
So hold on a second. So the challenge when you present something like that, right? And I know you're meaning it well-intentioned.
Is that DFAX is at my door right now?
It's literally the foster care system in this country. That's exactly what happens. Your kids disappear until you get it together, and then they show back up.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I just meant the happy version. I didn't want to.
I understand you meant the happy version,
it,
but I'm like, you are literally talking about one of the toughest parts of being a child.
Welcome to the BHHcast. Tonight's episode, we'll be talking about the foster care system.
Very special podcast.
Listen, we're going to be talking about...
We brought on expert Stoner Chicks podcast host.
We're going to have an in-depth conversation about feral children.
Sheesh. Okay, yeah.
All right, so
has
talk
the
about
phrase
how
feral children ever been said?
I've said it numerous times. That's
Feral
always
children.
right on the tip of my tongue.
Okay.
Isn't that Peter Pan?
Yeah, okay.
Oh, Peter
Fair
Pan
enough.
was a feral child. Right.
Nice.
Who could fly?
All right, so I tried to think of, you guys had a thing on Twitter the other day about your movies with stoner chicks in them.
Hey, you read our Twitter? Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We met on Twitter. That's how we got connected.
So my question is
True story.
what were some of the unexpected choices? Were there any movies that were kind of the Is Die Hard a Christmas movie variety?
That they suggested a movie that was definitely
That was
not
maybe a
stoner
reach.
chick. Yeah.
I mean, Phoebe's the movie expert.
Were you about to ask, can I speak?
May I speak, Phoebe?
You may. You may, Stephanie.
The movie master has spoken. You may speak, Stephanie.
Of the ones I think we've done so far, the only one I can think of that maybe is is it or is it not is maybe Party Girl. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. It's
That
not
was Parker
solely
Posey,
a
right?
stoner. Yeah, it's Parker, but it's not like
Great movie.
solely a stoner movie. However, she does smoke a lot of weed in it, and she's definitely a stoner chick. So you know what? I don't know. I think that movie qualifies. So you know, I
Well,
retract.
I would argue, movie expert here now.
Yeah.
Maybe the movie expert just speaking.
Don't worry, Phoebe.
argue.
I will edit out everything Steph just said.
Yeah, please.
Well, it's actually not even necessarily about that. I would argue the whole point of our stoner movie book club, as we call it, is that there aren't female stoner comedies in the quote unquote stoner comedy genre. So we're creating a list and sort of quilting them together if they have elements that make them.
Is there a reason that you think that that's the case?
That there aren't female stoner movies?
Well, I mean,
Patriarchy?
Yeah.
Well, I'm asking. I mean, I don't know. I'm
don't.
asking the question because I'm curious
I think
about what the
a lot
answer
of
is.
comedies fail to meet. I mean, I'm not to like the fail to use the pass the Bechdel test of like most comedies do, not just stoner comedies, and of like women.
Well, and it's a
being
newer
able
thing
to-
that
yeah.
women are dominating in comedy. That it's actually happening now, so it's not so uncommon. But there being female-led comedies, just in general, is a newer thing. So then stoner comedies on top of that, there's just less movies about women behaving badly and women being dumb. It's there's starting to be more, but there's just been very few. The stoner comedy genre is just not something that really generally allows women to be stoners.
All right,
I'm going to
so-
trick people into listening to this episode because in the show notes it's going to describe this as being about patriarchy, the foster system,
Yeah. Really, yeah.
everything where people are listening
No,
to it.
it's-
Like,
it's-
when
it's
does it get
solid
into the
point.
patriarchy part?
Yeah.
I really wanted to hear that
And,
part.
and the group female movie seems to be like along those same lines. Is that group female movie, be they stoners, be they not be, seems to have really come alive, in recent times. So I can see what you're saying. Whereas the group male movie's been around forever. It's interesting.
All right, so let me ask you this question, and I don't know the answer to it, and if it reflects poor preparation for the interview, I apologize.
You already mentioned your Twitter though, so you did do
you're
some.
doing great.
Yeah.
If you were going to do a female-led remake of a classic male stoner movie, what would you remake and with whom?
What a
Yikes.
great question.
Big question.
Trying to think of like what my favorite of all time stoner movie is. I don't really know. I really liked This Is the End when that came out.
Mm-hmm.
That had kind of a robust cast. But yeah, some of those classics like Pineapple Express. If there was like a woman version of Cheech and Chong.
Word.
That could
I
be
think that's
cool.
what I was
Yeah.
going to
Okay,
say.
so
like,
if you did a female version of Cheech and Chong, who could those comics be? Who would be the two
Women.
If you could, and I'm not necessarily, obviously they came out of a stand-up background, but who if we were going to recast Cheech and Chong?
As
Well,
women.
that's hard.
By the way, I think
because
this film's
Broad-
actually going to work. By the way,
Broad City has kind of done it, I think, a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
true.
Broad City is the
that's fair.
female. I think it'd be cool to like do like remake Friday.
Oh,
Have
that'd be
it
cool. Yeah.
Oh
Don't
my
like
gosh.
a female cast, because
Imagine,
as
like,
much as there's no female movies about stoners, there's definitely no even really black female characters in movies that smoke weed. There's very few.
Could we
So it would
just
just be
do
cool to
Queen
flip
Latifah?
that.
Queen Latifah and Tiffany Haddish as the stars of Friday
Yeah.
would be
Yeah.
epic.
Could redo that. I bet
Yeah.
that could be, so I wonder if that's
bye, Felicia.
I bet that project could get further off the ground than you think.
I bet you it totally could.
And I think it actually would do well.
Yeah, it's got the built-in. I mean, it's the classic remake, formula that says it's got the built-in audience that comes anyhow. You get a couple of good stars in it. You're adding audience, and then if it turns out to be good, you get people who are just going to come because they like the idea of female cast redoing male roles. Bang, yeah.
My question to you guys is, as you have developed your show, how much have you struggled with how much of this are my true opinions, my true feelings, and how much of this is learning not to pull punches in what it is that I want to talk about and how I want to express myself?
That's a great question.
That is, well, for me, I've been struggling just transitioning my improv skills from live theater to podcast format, which has been just a struggle in general. And then I'm kind of, I'm not the oldest in the podcast, but I think mentally I am. I just struggle with technology in general. And so it's just like, this the whole thing, this the ease of live theater has just been so much, it's been a transition for me, and that's been my biggest struggle. As far as getting along with these ladies, it's just effortless. And I always know when we were doing live shows together, when I went on stage with them, and when I hope to be on stage with them at some point in the future again, is I know they got my back and I have theirs, and we're always going to, like, you know, just have fun together.
Well, that's one question I had about the length of your podcast. Like, when you guys get together and you're doing, you know, how much are you recording and how much are you editing that down? Because you guys are pretty good about, you know, hitting a couple, like, you know, stoners in history kind of thing, and kind of some segments now, which is fun. But
you mean as opposed to us who are 30 minutes in and have not gotten to question one?
No, that's right.
Just about to finish a question.
Yeah.
And then you had to make it longer by noting we hadn't asked a question. This is what we're talking about.
How much are you guys doing as far as are you actually getting in and out that quick, or is that highly edited?
It is. We aren't getting in and out quick because we warm up for a while and talk and stuff before we record. But our goal is to record for about the length of time.
Oh, that's good.
Try to plan our shows to be 30 minutes, and our goal is to record it at about that length.
That's good. You honestly, I'm sure your editor, and Jamie's also our editor, also doesn't whine as much when we do that, because Jamie and I can talk for literally an hour and a half, and then we tell him, make it 20 minutes.
Well, the episodes where we're really high, that doesn't always work out so well. So there's some that end up longer.
Yeah, I was wondering about that too. If like you
lot.
get too high for the episodes, is there ever that kind of things like, boy, I keep talking here and I don't even remember what I was talking about?
Certainly. There's
All right,
moments.
Can I ask a little bit of a silly question? And
No.
this
Of course.
Okay. But no,
Did you talk to the movie master? Because apparently she clears questions.
Oh,
Did
she's
you?
the question clearer?
Yeah.
Only if it's about movies.
Oh, well, go here.
Nah, it's not about.
Can we do silly?
Wait, we're not going to talk
Please?
about cats more?
No, please.
I could talk about cats the entire episode.
Oh, but
I
let's
have like
not.
3
Us
more
too.
cat stories. Yeah.
Yes.
What's your cat story?
Well, the TLDR, a condensed version of, like, after you were talking about missing cats, I had a neighbor steal a cat.
Cat theft?
She, like, fed it like deli meat and fresh milk and like a bunch of stuff, and she even like took our collar off and put a new collar on.
Whoa.
And like we went
way.
to her house and we're like, hey, you're taking her collar off and putting on a new collar. This is our cat. And she's like, well, he just likes it better here. I'd given him turkey, and I just
No
Did
way.
she put a fake mustache on the cat? Hat, sunglasses.
And eventually,
Oh,
like,
I wanna
after
see that
doing that
movie.
about 2 or 3 times, we just were like, you know, this old lady clearly wants this cat more than us, and so we let her have him. So, Harry,
You
if you're
gave in to the
listening, we miss
kidnappers.
you. I know we
You're
did.
just like, we kidnapped your kid. And they're like, but the kid seems so
Hang on a
happy over
second.
here.
Hold on
You're
a
like,
second.
keep him.
Wait, I think you're talking about the foster system.
Oh, let's not do that again.
Holy God.
Thank
Wait a
you.
minute. You know what that sounds like? That sounds like the perfect crime.
Wait, Jamie, what was your question before?
Yeah. But,
I don't remember.
oh, come on,
I
Stoner.
really don't remember. I
You
don't
said it was
remember
a
what the
silly
was.
question.
Stoner chick.
Oh, yeah, silly question. Okay.
You're welcome.
All right, so I feel like
Normally I derail the show. That's the first time I've ever gotten us
Oh,
back
he's
on the
going
track.
to lose it. Stop.
that's fine. So okay, so
Wait, they said there was 3 cat stories?
Oh,
Do-
God. Kill you.
all right. So do you think that the expansion of more states making it legal, right?
Cat theft?
No. Marijuana.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I actually
Ganja.
don't even think that cat theft is an actual crime.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's little
I
prosecuted.
think it's just straight up theft at that point. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that changes the vocabulary around it as it becomes normalized? Do you think then it changes some of the power of language around it?
I certainly hope so, and that I hope that over time the stigma becomes less so. Do you mean like slang?
Yeah. That idea that
or the culture around it?
No, he's talking about language.
Just from a language standpoint, that I think that there
Well,
are that we
definitely.
sometimes attach pejorative language around things that are illegal or outside what are perceived bounds of normalcy. And that then sometimes the language changes as those things then become normalized.
Yeah, so we go from like a 420 being a code to saying, do you want to get high later? Right?
Or
I think
instead of a
420 will
brand,
stay a
maybe
thing.
being called like Dutch blue fucking treat to cannabinoid relieving stress
Yes.
oil.
right. Or
Yeah,
stevia
right.
with the,
But what happens if the term stoner goes away?
Oh, I don't think it ever goes away.
No.
I don't think it goes away.
Never goes away.
I don't think 420 goes away either. I mean,
No.
I don't think that the full culture of it would disappear. It's just there will be a new types of culture from people that get into it after it's legal, I guess, is sort of,
Right.
and
And
then-
we live in a legal state since 2000. We've lived in a legal state since 2012. So we're at the point, us three personally, where I almost don't even remember what it feels like to live in an illegal state. I guess sometimes when I travel, I'm reminded like, oh shit, I gotta hide my bowl here.
You know, you
But
know
we've
what that
got all
feels
kinds
like?
of new lingo.
It feels like coming to a maskless state like Georgia. That's exactly what it feels like. You're like, oh my God, what are you guys doing? And you're like, we don't do that here anymore.
You could
Yeah,
actually
totally
hide the marijuana in
can
your
do-
mask.
Yeah, you can put it in your mask. Yeah, that's right. You
just
can
put it
put it in your
between.
mask.
Yeah, that's
But
good.
then they would find it because it would attract so much attention.
Yeah, that's right. You're
that's-
suspicious.
Right.
You're one of those maskers.
So is it, what
I
are
could
the
just
weed
see
laws?
like that comic strip where the Georgia guy gets off the plane in Seattle and it's like, you guys are all smoking weed? And then the Seattle guy gets off the plane in Georgia's like, you guys don't wear masks? Yeah.
The big thing that all weed advocates want is for the people sitting in jail right now for minor weed crimes to be released. That's the biggest thing that has to change. Because there's, I mean, as far as the stigma goes, even stoner comedy, I'm finding now that we're watching more and more stoner comedies, I almost feel like some of that feeds into the stigma that ultimately influences culture and then ultimately has landed so many people in jail.
Well, it also goes, though, to general issues of non-equitable enforcement.
Yeah.
Right. And I had a conversation, which was a reasonably interesting conversation with a person who made the argument that our laws are objective. And I said, it's all subjective enforcement, that it's just a decision of whether you're choosing to cite this person for their infraction and start it or arrest them and start the ball rolling, which leads to these things.
The cat kidnapper is operating in broad daylight.
That kid never went.
Yeah,
No
that's who we need to go after.
First
Yes,
of all,
yes.
we need to at some point talk about, generally speaking, how senior citizens are essentially a lawless portion of the age demographic.
Oh, completely.
Right? We let seniors get away with
Everything.
everything.
There's
Stealing all the
nothing.
cats.
Yeah, there's nothing that grandma's going to get picked up
No.
for. No matter what. She
No.
could be,
Stole a cat.
Selling acid
come
to
on,
kids in the
help her.
park. Yeah,
No,
no-
she
yeah.
didn't know.
Yeah, she's just lost it a
wasn't-
little bit.
yeah.
Yeah, totally fine.
Can you add something about Medicare so I can add that to the show notes?
Yeah. Come on. Yeah, but it's you guys. I don't know if you knew our background. So we are all three attorneys. So that kind of enforcement of how the criminalizing of weed is actually hits home. And to Jamie's point about the equitability of the enforcement, right? The idea that it's interesting how the small drug. Even with the mandatory minimums, which is criminal, mandatory minimums suck, take the hands out of the judges. But if you look at the demographics that were most impacted by those, it's pretty clear, right? And pretty clear about who it was aimed at and who it got enforced against. And even, and there aren't any
Especially
kids.
when
Yeah.
drug use is equal amongst all types of people, age
Yeah.
ranges and backgrounds. Like drug use is pretty equitable but across all types of people. And so when you see only a couple types of people getting prosecuted for those things, it's really easy to see how it's not equal.
That's right. That's right. And to your point, it's incredible in places where it is legal that people are still behind bars for those probably inequitably applied laws that are now actually not even against the law. So, yeah. Anywho.
And with our podcast, which is a comedy podcast, we've been kind of trying to figure out how we want to address that in our own way, just because, like, we would be remiss not to. I mean, we're 3 white women who live in a legal state and can just, like, hi, hee, hee, ha, ha, we're chiefing all day. But, like, we have to figure out exactly how we want to participate in doing that work, and destigmatizing weed even further is part of that. Like, for example, there's another podcaster listened to our podcast, and he gave us a great review on his podcast. He was like, they're great, but he seemed so surprised. He called us intelligent a few too many times. And I think that it's very nice of him, but I think that the thing is that he was surprised that we were intelligent. He was surprised that he listened to a weed podcast and the people had stuff to say, or we can make witty jokes and all this stuff. But he was expecting us to be big dumb stoners like Cheech and Chong, or
most stoners are pretty functional.
Do you see what just happened there, though?
We're all over the place.
You have already forgotten about Grace.
Yeah, I already forgot
You
about
said
her.
that 3
I know,
white
I
women.
heard that.
Yeah.
Well, Grace doesn't live
That's how it
in
There you
begins.
go. That's how it started.
You know, I think I've listened to you guys' show, and I do think you handle that so far really well. And I think that when you talked about, there's a recent episode where you talked about a woman in San Francisco who's selling brownies through her grandmother, and they're distributing, and but you also commented about how she didn't get caught, but she was also, you know, a white lady living in San Francisco, and I think you tactfully made the comment there about, you know, it may not have worked out the same, which, so keeping with your comedy podcast, but yet still slipping, you know, some commentary in there. I think you guys are doing a good job at that, actually.
all we can do to not just yell and scream about how black and brown people are disproportionately impacted by the drug war and all the trickle down effects from the drug war that we're now still slowly trying to clean up. And Grace in New Mexico, they actually just legalized, so it's important to take a close look when that legislation is passed. What is included? Who gets their records expunged? And it looks like New Mexico is actually doing a pretty good job of that. And New York City, they're as far as when they open recreational dispensaries, they're giving priority to women and people of color.
Yeah.
Because in most states, it gets super dominated by white men right off the bat, which is then ironic because then they are setting up shop, opening chains in all these neighborhoods that are being gentrified, and people who live there's family is still locked in jail. It's like so twisted and backwards. So,
Is there a line between let's try to use humor to change attitudes and perspective, and when is the time to scream and shout? Is there, and does there need to be a distinction between the two?
I think there needs to be. I mean, I think it's sort of a case by case. I don't necessarily think everyone needs to be talking about things they're not educated in. So, I think it's a balance of knowing when to acknowledge things and when, like what your overall message is, and like how you use your abilities, or if, you end up making money, how you use that. I don't know. I guess I'm sort of, maybe this is getting me, because it's like, that's sort of the question that I'm always asking myself. I think that all of us are, so it's hard to answer.
Yeah.
The population of Americans who got high in the last year is X. Does that number grow simply by virtue of legalizing it? Is the illegality of it the inhibitor of the behavior? Or does that number stay reasonably constant if legalized every place?
I think it would stay pretty constant. I don't know. Phoebe might know, but I feel like, yes, there'd probably be a kind of maybe a little bit of an uptick of people who wouldn't normally try it because it was illegal, but now that it's legal, they're like, hey, maybe I will give it a shot. But I think the people who just don't don't give a shit about the government, man, they're gonna like do it whatever. You're like,
Are there going to be people who are going to give it up because it's now legal? Like it's no longer fun. It's illegal.
It's no longer fun. There's no
mean,
Right.
I think if anything, it's a good move once they sort of changed the entire "don't do drug" message in like the aughts, was that where they, instead of making it this like you'll die, they changed it to just like, hey, it's not that cool. And from my understanding, it was cigarettes that worked. And so in some ways, I think legalizing it would probably not make it worse, but help a little, because it does kind of it's like if it's the thing your mom does, like relax at night, it's not really that. I don't know. It doesn't seem that cool.
Well, it
anymore.
just seems odd that there's an entire, like, it has become absolutely 100% mainstream normalized.
Yeah.
Wine you can consume in any amount you want. Right?
In fact, every marketing in the world encourages women to drink wine at the highest levels all the time.
Yeah.
Right? And yet,
that's
the idea
every
of
mom. It's
getting
all about
stoned at
moms
all.
drinking wine.
Right.
Yeah.
So to your point of what does mom do at the end of the day, or the whatever that thing is.
Right.
I actually, so for the first time in a very long time, I ran into a guy doing what appeared to be sort of a freelance dare kiosk outside a restaurant the other day.
I
And
want to understand.
Paint a
drugs?
picture.
yeah. Yeah, like don't do drugs, right? It was like a dare table.
Oh, a dare table.
Dare.
Like I thought you were talking about some guy who was like taking dares at the
Right.
right.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my
like,
God.
I dare you to
Yeah.
run up this hill.
Right.
I dare you to
Okay.
drink this ketchup.
So hold on a second.
That sounds like fun.
I had the dumbest idea for a reality show years ago, and it was just all about filming auditions to reality shows. And I was convinced that people will confess things to a reality TV show audition,
Right.
that they would never,
I
right?
guarantee
It would
it.
almost be like a cop show, to be like, how's the guy solve the crime? And he'd be like, he just sets up a booth at the mall, and then we bring in the suspect and tell him to audition for, and then be like, okay, if you were going to bury a body, where would you bury it? And they'd be
like, I know all
okay,
about
so first
this.
of all, it
I
turns
couldn't."
out, right, this isn't going to air anyplace, but seriously, if you like look behind the forest tree in my backyard, 6 bodies.
You got to pull the teeth.
Yeah. So anyway, so this guy had a don't do drugs dare table set up outside this restaurant, and he's like, we don't get funding anymore, and we're not really anti-drug so much. We're more into like cyberbullying. And it
They
was-
tried to pivot.
Yeah,
it
they
was
did
like-
try to pivot in a big way.
there was something
what?
that was so sad.
I mean, good for them if they're about cyberbullying, but
Yeah.
I feel like you need more info than just.
Well,
no, we're kind of
Or
about.
just shut down the whole
But here's
dare
the
marketing.
But
and
the worst
go
part
with
about
the new
it,
name.
right?
Yeah.
Well, but so there was a moment where I thought, all right, how much do I have to donate for a T-shirt? Because it's almost like a throwback, random novelty T-shirt, right? To
Right.
be like, oh yeah, my new Dares T-shirt, right? Remember this?
It's
Remember from
ironic.
when we were, yeah. So we ask our guests, and this will be a little bit different. So I don't know if we want to.
All 3 of them.
We're going to ask all 3 of them the same question.
Yes.
All right, learning something new every time. All right.
There is a meat and
Yeah, you do
3
it.
restaurant, right? It's a concept, meat and 3. You go in, you get a meat, and you get 3 vegetables, right? And this is maybe a Southern thing. But we use that as an analogy on this show. So the question we ask is, what is the meat in your lives? The organizing principle by which you sort of operate as a human being. See that? See how easy that was?
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
That wasn't bad.
It's only because
No,
I say the
seriously.
same thing almost every episode.
A
so
lot
you
of
can almost
people,
do it
a lot
verbatim.
of people
You've
will be
listened to
judgy
it.
of that, and I'm going to defend you to the
Okay.
day I
We've
die because
given
I
more
thought it was
time.
good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that was good.
I don't care what they say.
Okay, so who wants to go first?
Well, what's the 3?
No, well, we'll get to that.
Oh,
get
we're
to
going
the
to get to that.
Oh, okay.
First is the meat.
Stephanie wants to go first.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she doesn't.
What's the meat in my life?
What's the
The
organizing
organizing
principle?
principle. What's the anchor?
What's the thing that you just that
Your-
if you had to describe?
Your North Star. What is the thing?
Don't cop out and say family, Stephanie.
Oh
Don't
hell
be such
no!
a Thank
Fuck
you.
them. I mean, I love them, but no.
Yeah, right.
Good God. I guess on the spot. On the spot.
Yep.
My North Star.
Mm-hmm.
My
Is?
guiding meat.
By the way,
Is,
you can take as much time as you want because I'm gonna edit it. Your answer is gonna come.
It's gonna come
just
right
like
after,
that.
so
like
don't
right
worry
as we
that
ask the
this-
question, that
Cut
answer
this
is
all
coming
back.
right out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't tell her that.
It's not really going to.
It's orca
You were
whales.
Orca whales.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
right.
honestly
And then
we've
I'm
been
not
asking
even
this
going to give
question.
any context to that.
Nope.
But that's it.
Yeah, we'll talk in a minute
If I
about
had
the
a dollar,
context.
if I had a dollar for every time someone says orca
I'm
whales,
so tired of that. That's the most common
You know,
answer.
you know what you would have? You would have $1 friggin' dollar. That's what you would have.
Hey,
You'd
you
have
don't
a
listen to our
single dollar.
episodes. You don't listen to our episodes.
Yeah. All right. Now, who's next?
Oh
That was
man,
hard, ladies.
You
That was
did it
hard.
though.
yeah, that was
Steph
a
is in
great-
a fetal
Organizing
position
principal.
right now. Come on.
She's doing great. Orca
Your,
whale.
all of your additional side talk is just stalling. Let them answer the question.
I'm filling space.
No,
I'm buying
don't fill
them
the space.
time.
Edit it out.
I Phoebe Richards
Oh, here we
would
go.
probably answer that, and I hope this doesn't sound like I'm copying, but I would say my cat.
Nice.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
So far, the
That is-
orca whales are going to defeat the cat in the battle of the meats, but
We're not talking about meat battles.
In a
Okay.
different year, I might not have answered that,
Doesn't-
but after
and-
Okay, but this year, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all good.
Do
We're
not feel the
saying,
need to reference an animal either. If you, I mean, I know we've gone down
No.
a rail here, but yeah. So
I think your cat is in the back listening, though. So if you don't say cat,
Yeah, the cat is going to be a little upset with you.
I can assure the both of you that their cats do not listen to the podcast.
Are you serious?
I am 100% certain.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's fine.
I
I'm
told
not-
them it was a listen up sheeple podcast, and
Yeah.
they
Okay.
said they weren't interested.
I got you.
well, it
See,
happens.
right?
Happens. That's not our target market anymore. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm gonna say in a less cheesy way, spread joy. I would say mine.
That's
is
good. Okay.
Helping people forget for a little bit how much the world sucks.
Quality.
Yeah.
All right.
Excellent.
Now,
Word.
Okay, so now
the three.
bring it home, Hernan. You did so well in the first question. Can you close?
No, I'm tapped out. I did. That's all
That's
I
it.
got.
That's all you got.
I'm a past the
Okay,
time.
then we give it back to you.
Go ahead,
Go
Bendel.
back, Bendel.
The three.
No, actually, I've got it. In the three, what we're talking about is what are the three attributes that you would like people to, how you would like people to just
most closely associate
with you.
Thank you.
Honestly,
What are the three attributes that you would like people to most closely associate with you?
Good
Okay,
job,
I'll
little
start.
buddy. I'm so proud of you.
Copyright Jamie Hernan 2021.
So I had orca whale as my guiding principle, and I guess my three sides that kind of stem off an orca whale would be what I believe kind of orca whales signify to me, which they're my favorite animal, is spreading joy, or like kind of that magic, like leaving reality for a moment where you can have a laugh or enjoy a different world for a little bit. Like I really like that aspect of like when you see a whale, it's like you're transported. I don't know if you've ever seen a whale in real life, but
It's like
you're
an alien encounter.
Yeah,
is what it feels like.
It's amazing, and so I kind of like that. And then also,
If I was in a
they're
boat,
kind of-
I would be joyful. If I was in the water, it would not be the same
Yeah.
experience.
Oh,
They won't
Well, they-
eat you.
they
They've
won't.
never eaten a person in the wilds, only in captivity.
Interesting.
An
Are we talking? That's orcas?
that's
Orcas have never attacked a human.
Because you see those
and, like,
seal
injured
videos,
them.
and wow,
Those seals
Yeah.
are not human.
they
Oh yeah, they're the
those,
T-Rex of the sea.
Yeah, they
sure.
house those seals though.
And they
Hashtag
eat,
seals
they
are
eat great
people
white
too.
sharks. Yeah, they're pretty badass.
Okay, so that's one of your sides.
Yep.
So you
That's
got one
one
thing
of it.
they
I
associate
also they're very they're very community based animal where they travel in pods. Obviously, they're matriarchal, so I kind of really love that aspect of them as a feminist myself. And then the third, I think they're very intelligent, curious creatures. So kind of the seeking of knowledge kind of thing. And
Those are
they're
great.
creators, and
Excellent.
they sing songs and shit. So
with you. Yeah, those are great things to have people associate with you too. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Those are good.
I don't sing songs though. You don't want to hear my songs, but
Okay.
I'm actually kind of intrigued by the figurative concept of the orca whale karaoke night. To be like, oh man, is he covering this song again? This guy every week.
Do you think they use that as a cover to get the seals to show up?
Come sail away.
Anyhow.
Okay.
Back
that
to
was
you.
too long
Okay,
for.
but
Okay. Phoebe's got some
was that all
sides.
three?
Yep.
Yeah, so I am taking this totally different, Stephanie. I'm not making my three things like offshoots of the analogy of a cat.
Okay. No,
Because
no
I
problem.
literally just meant me being able to cuddle my cat. Is my North Star. So the three things I guess that I would want people to take away from me or to
Associate with
remember
you,
me
yeah.
as associate with me would be that I was entertaining, that I Does it have to be? It doesn't have to be a one-word answer, right?
No. Entertaining is great, but we can do another one.
So, entertaining. Second, I would hope that maybe I inspired someone to speak up or act out in what they believe in, stand up for what they believe in.
Nice.
That would probably be the biggest. And that I could take really big bong rips.
Yeah. Those are the big three. That's good. That's good.
I was gonna do a weed punchline as my
That's fine.
third
That's
one.
okay. You can pick a different one.
No. Go ahead and do it. I'll edit you before Phoebe.
Yeah, we'll just put you in front of it. Phoebe will look like the copycat.
Okay, I guess I would say I would want people to associate me with being fun to work with, truly caring about others, having empathy for others, and taking fat rips off.
Oh my god, you did an air horn. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, we're getting. Sorry, that was right into the mic, and you guys
like
are
a
wearing
lot.
those headphones.
It felt like a lot.
It was a lot,
Felt
but
like a
yeah.
lot.
All right, that was good. All right, I
was
think it's
just right.
lightning round time.
Are we lightning rounding?
Yes,
Yeah.
we are.
All right. So again, are we going to go 3 questions for each guest?
3 questions. Each
9
guest.
question lightning round.
Yes. No, 9 answers. Three.
Oh, same question.
No, yeah, 3 questions. 9 questions. You're right. No, 6 questions.
Are you serious right now?
Someone's bad
Two
at
rounds,
math,
3
but I don't
questions
know
each.
who.
Yeah, I don't know.
3
I don't
answers.
know what just happened.
6, 3, 18 answers.
All right. So
My brain
Guys,
literally hurts just
listen.
listening to you.
first of all, there comes a question that arises in every guest's mind during some portion of being a guest on a podcast, and that is, why did I agree to do this? And we do a lightning round of what are intended to be deep icebreaker questions for which we want extremely brief answers. Okay?
Okay.
Now, we usually ask the guest whether they prefer to go clockwise or counterclockwise in the asking of the questions. But that's usually only when we have one guest.
You can
So,
vote, maybe?
do you want to go from a host perspective? Do you want to go clockwise or counterclockwise?
Clockwise?
Okay.
Clockwise.
Now,
Clockwise.
here's our question.
Whoa.
Because you guys are arranged in a grid, sort of, do you want to be asked the questions clockwise or counterclockwise? So should we ask them clockwise of the hosts, counterclockwise of the guests?
Can you just tell me when I'm supposed to ask a question?
This is nuts. We are going to go crazy up in here.
I'm going to say clockwise again.
Whoa, double clockwise.
We're going double clock.
No one was
Okay,
expecting
okay,
that.
we're double clocking.
No one
All
was
right, we'll double
expecting
clock
that.
it. That's fine.
Wait, doesn't that mean double clock?
We're double clocking over here,
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, we're double clock it up.
Yep, it's going to be a day.
All right, now, Jamie, you do understand what that means. As
starts
you're
with me.
looking at your screen, you understand
Yeah.
what clockwise is.
You understand what that is, right?
I want to make sure before you begin.
If you start with
You know what
us,
you're talking.
who's next?
Yeah.
You know who's next.
Right? This here, 12 o'clock.
We don't want to give you
Right?
guys the heads
There
up
we
about
go.
who would
This
come
is the
next.
order we're
So
going. I want to make sure
You realize one question, they're just all answering the question.
what?
in terms of how they're going to answer the question.
No, I'm going to ask one question, all 3 of them will answer. Then you ask a
And-
question, all 3 of them will answer.
But in
I trust
See,
them to
this
answer.
is how
in
we
clockwise.
lost our fourth host.
Yeah.
Our fourth host killed himself
It
because
may be
he had to
why
listen to
I'm
this
losing.
stuff.
easy.
Okay, we're just going to ask the questions.
Okay, here we go. Sorry,
All right.
killing something was too far. We'll edit that out.
Are we good?
All right, go.
Yeah.
All right. With which animal would you most like to get high?
Who's the first?
You got to say
Aardvark.
who's starting high.
Stephanie, you
Yeah.
start.
Aardvark.
Kayla.
A kitty cat.
Phoebe.
Let's say raccoon.
Nice. Stevia or indica? Stephanie.
Sativa.
Sativa, sorry. Stevia is like a
It's okay.
sugar stuff, right?
Yeah. I was like, why
yeah,
is that
well,
the
you're in
choices?
Georgia now.
I knew what you meant, and so I went with what I
Is
thought
that your
you meant.
answer?
What was your answer?
Sativa.
Okay. Thank you. Kayla.
It's my
Indica.
favorite moment.
Okay. Phoebe.
Indica.
Okay. Jamie.
Are you more productive at night or in the morning?
Stephanie.
Morning.
Kayla.
Morning.
Phoebe.
Morning.
Okay.
If an animal were to be elected president of the United States, which animal could you get behind?
You and this animal stuff.
Besides cats or orcas?
Stephanie.
I'll make any animal, honestly, but specifically a panda bear.
Pandas make sense. Kayla.
Moose.
Moose.
I'm gonna go with the shark because they're misunderstood.
Okay. Most important thing your father taught you. Stephanie.
I was just talking about this. Know the rules of the game so you can break them.
Kayla. Most important thing your father taught you.
How to be a good teammate.
Phoebe, come on, bring it home.
If I ever get really drunk somewhere, to call him and he won't get mad, he'll just pick me up.
Solid.
Nice.
Solid.
Oh, Dad.
All right, Jamie. We got one more round. Is that what we're just? Okay, here we go.
What do you rebel against?
Stephanie, sorry.
Fuck the patriarchy, man.
Right on. Phoebe, or Kayla, go.
People underestimating me.
Solid. Phoebe.
Patriarchy is also my answer.
Good.
I wanted to come with something else, but I already had that in
No,
mind.
I did
I'm
it!
fist bumping you
I am
right
the
now.
first. I got the first double guessed.
Yeah, it's the
coincident
whole
answer.
clockwise thing
Boom.
that's making it weird.
Boom.
We can end the podcast now.
But one more.
Okay. Which animal
we doing another
besides
question? Third
cats,
question?
orcas, pandas, raccoons,
Yeah.
moose, moose,
I think it's
mooses,
Musai.
moosei,
Mooses.
would you like to go on a cross-country road trip with?
Stephanie.
Stephanie,
Stephanie, I need your answer.
Sloth.
Are you letting them drive?
Oh, it's going to take forever.
I know.
Would you pass these people? Are we never going to pass this car in front of us?
Ever gonna get
How
through Texas?
much longer are you going to take in the bathroom?
Kayla, what's your answer?
A dog. A good old dog.
There you go. Phoebe.
Tiger.
Nice.
Wait a minute. You taking a road trip with the tiger?
a
Sure,
tiger.
I mean,
It's a tiger
That's
you trust.
true. In the
right?
hypothetical world, the tiger
yeah.
you
She's
not
trust.
they were
picking up
going
a
to be my
tiger,
friend.
Tiger
but
you trust.
She's not picking up a hitchhiker tiger. She's like, you're not really going to kill me,
See,
are
now
you?
that would be a good
Oh.
question for you to ask in the future. To be like, if you
I
had to
meant,
pick
like-
up one animal as a hitchhiker, what animal would you pick up?
Tiger.
New question. If you were going to pick up an animal as a hitchhiker, what animal would you pick up?
No, you can't double question.
You can't
do
double
this all the
question.
time.
You just passed
I
me your
said for a
question.
It was
different
not his
thing.
turn.
No, that's not
Now
what
we're going out of control.
That's not what the final edited
All right.
copy is going to look like.
So, ladies, here we go. Are you ready? Superpower of choice. Stephanie, go. Stephanie.
Fly swimming.
Sly swimming?
Fly swimming, like one of those seabirds. I want to be a bird that can fly
Oh.
and then swim, but that's my superpower.
Oh,
but
like
I
a
mean
fly
human.
swimmer.
Nice.
A fly swimmer.
That's pretty cool. We worked two superheroes,
know.
two powers into one move.
I could see that in the Marvel
Well
universe.
done. Yeah. Kayla, superpower.
I would not have to sleep.
No sleep.
Yeah.
oh,
Interesting.
We call her
Insomnia.
All right. Phoebe, go.
ice cream and pizza would give me like an amazing body.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Superficial, but that's I'm going for it.
Low nutrition, high nutrition.
Can one of you text? Can one of you text Grace because she's on a road trip right now and ask her if there's a sloth or a tiger or any other animal
Yeah,
in the
watch
car
out
with
for
her?
On the
sloths.
side of the road. Yeah.
Can get dangerous. Jamie, hit him with your last. You're upset.
I'm
I
asking
can
this
tell.
question.
Do you wanna pass? You can pass to
no,
me.
I'm not. Okay.
You've already attempted to steal before.
Final question. What's a problem that you have that might be entirely unique to you?
Stephanie, problem you have that's unique to you. Go.
My fingernails, they don't grow. I don't know how to explain it, but they go below my actual finger, so I can't actually cut my nails the way I want to.
Definitely
I can't
unique.
explain it.
You're the
unique.
only person. Kayla, go.
I don't know if this is unique, but my body develops allergies to things it is exposed to over time.
Oh,
Oh.
That is the antithesis of a superpower.
Insomnia is also allergen.
Insomnia,
What is her
allergen.
superpower?
Yeah, that's her kryptonite.
I make
She's
all the-
allergic to a lot of
I
stuff,
make
but
all
she
the
can stay
criminals-
awake all night.
I make all the criminals allergic to stuff.
Phoebe, hit me.
But sometimes after I finish taking a shower and I step out of the shower and it's all steamy, I don't want to turn the water off because I feel so cozy. And so I'll start doing like all of my after shower care with the water running, and then I feel really guilty about it.
Yeah. But that whole steam room.
I have to tell you, I think that is a problem unique to you.
Thank you.
I think that meets the definition of a problem that may be entirely
Well done. So that's our speed round.
All right, speed round.
Bonus
Good job,
question.
lady. Oh, no bonus question. Sorry, bud. You tried to steal. You tried to backdoor with the bonus. You're not getting another question.
Which
Sorry.
animal
No.
would you remove from the earth if you-
Sorry.
All right. So listen, the podcast you guys are excited about, you've launched, you found an audience for, you're trying to grow that audience. What else would you like people who are interested in learning more about you guys to know?
Where can we send people?
Where can people find you on social media and all that?
You can find us on all the social medias at Stoner Chicks Podcast on Instagram, at Stoner Chicks Pod on Twitter, and at Weed Queens on TikTok.
Nice.
And that's spelled OUID. Weed.
Because
Weed
that's
Queens.
the code word for weed on TikTok, because weed's not allowed on TikTok.
Right.
We
I have
should do
to
some
say,
stuff
I
on
thought
social media.
I was surprised when doing a little prep that the Stoner Chicks Sesh was out there as a semi-competitor, it seemed.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're talking about competitors?
I've listened to that. It is nothing compared to the
No,
Stoner
I was
Chicks.
just saying. It was just interesting about the,
Yeah,
surprised.
They're far and
They
away.
didn't bring up sheep talk.
Well, there's only two of them, so they have twice as much work to do.
I mean, sure, they can replace Phoebe, Stephanie, and Kayla, but there's
Well, and it sounds
no
like,
Grace.
First of all,
Right?
if Grace went over there, it'd be 3v3.
Could you imagine? Oh, that would be horrible.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
All right.
it's
Maybe
been
that's what
great
Grace
having you
is.
guys as guests. It's a lot of fun. We wish you the most success with your podcast. It looks we enjoy it. We think our sheep will enjoy it. So make sure you guys go get a lesson. But thanks again for having us.
Thank you
wait,
so much
you.
for having
I just
us.
said that the wrong way.
Yeah,
We're
you
gonna
did.
take that
and
again. So
I
We
love
did
it.
have you.
thanks again for being with us.
Thanks for having
Your
us.
continued success is a thing that we're all in favor of.
Yes.
And likewise.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Well, thank you.
All right. We
Ditto.
appreciate it. Thank
Say
you.
hi to Grace for us.
All right, so that was the hosts of the Stoner Chick podcast, Kayla, Phoebe, Stephanie, Grace, unfortunately unable to join. Maybe we'll get to do a subsequent episode with her. As always, we appreciate you listening to the BHHcast. We will catch you next episode when we have some brand new content. On behalf of Jamie Hearn and I am Jamie Bendel, as always, Adam Haig.
Thanks, guys.
Taka taka.
Fire's getting low. This episode of the BHHcast is over. Time to go home now, sheep. Go on, back to where you came from. We'll call you back when it's time for another BHHcast. Taka taka.